I'm sorry. They need to come in here and give me love. Come here. Give me love. And then they'll need to go to the backyard at some point. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning, Ben's Brick Designs. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending your weekend with me while we do Lego-related stuff. Ahoy hoy, Jonathan. How are you? Thanks for being here. Let's just go into Missy. Good morning. Let's just get into the building. So, yay, we are still at it with Rivendell. You can see the characters that we've got down here already. I'm going to have to make room for another row up here and still have some build space, but this is where we are in the middle section. This section connects to the big tower. This section connects to the waterfall, I think. And the gazebo area. I think there's probably going to be a little more built back here, but that's about it. So that's where we are. We're on bag 35 of 49. So if we do 4 bags build, then Zissou, good morning. How are you? That'll leave us, I don't know, 3 or more streams, maybe another week and a half. So let's get busy. Pull out 36. There's 35, and I'll go ahead and see if I can find 37. And 38. There's 37. 45. 39. 48. Oh. The 38 and 39 are going to be roof tiles, so we may be able to get to that. So I have a feeling this is going to be the roof now. So this will be maddening. Kodiak, good morning. Full house this morning. How are you guys doing? Zissou, thanks for popping over here. I know I'm interrupting half of Good Morning Brick World, so I hope they forgive me. Sort of run afoul of that. The more friends you make on YouTube doing Lego stuff, the more times. There's only so many days and so many days of the week and so many hours in the day that you can not run into somebody else's streams. So long week. Yeah, it felt like a long week. We had a friend / family issue go on that kind of took me out of the running of stuff starting Thursday night, and then I took Friday off. Everything on our side's fine. It was a friend having some issues, and so we were trying to be helpful. But everything's kind of, I guess, okay for the moment. I'm going to try to move this around so you can see the building better. Candlesticks rolling away as usual. Oh, I lost that. These candlesticks are now my least favorite piece, just because they go everywhere, and my table is not completely flat. Frankie, what's up? Good morning to you as well. Thanks for being here. Frankie and Missy, have you started on your adventure builds yet? I kind of have a thought that I want to do a Doctor Who build, but I'm not really sure how to make that work with the pieces that we've got, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I haven't started either. I'll likely start like the week before the meeting. That's usually what I do. So we'll see how that goes. Frankie, I saw your Castaway ship on an Instagram post and was talking about a certain designer who designed a bunch of, I think, other spaceships or other sets maybe. And one of them was the Castaway ship, and they had a really good image of it. And the more I got to looking at it, the more I'm like, I don't think this is fully put together. Like, I think this is kind of fudged a little bit. And it's more complicated than I thought too. So, but you can definitely see a little more of the pieces. It looks like the wings are put together with some Technic. So, like it's built like a TIE fighter. If you remember the old TIE fighters where it had like a Technic connection. Oh, that light's gonna bother me. It had a Technic connection that was like, you kind of put a block in like that and then put pins through it. So that helps situation. Yeah, I've got the Doctor Who ideas set, so I thought I could just pull. I mean, it's Matt Smith or Capaldi and Clara, so I mean those are the figures you have to deal with. And I'm sure, I don't know if I could get a Tennant or an Eccleston by the time I'd need to do the work, but. And I don't know what I'd do yet, like adventure with those pieces, because the pieces are pearl gold, 2x2 round bricks with the spikes on the side, and then some other things in it, little nano figure statues. So I don't know. These are cool pieces. If you haven't seen these yet, the light's really bright. Sorry, these cupcakes. We've had a few of those already. More pillars. There's some pillars here that are already like this. Yeah, so I thought doing that would be a little spin on adventure, because Doctor Who's kind of adventure. People say it's science fiction, but I feel like it's more adventure than science fiction. It's not like trying to examine a bit of humanity. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but... the questions of humanity explored via science. It's one of those things, every time Beth and I have the discussion about what science fiction is, I'm like, I can't define it, but it's like, what is it, pornography or something, where you can't describe it, but you know it when you see it. I feel like science fiction's like that. So if you can hear my voice, I'm a little congested. We were out last night, AFC game, Austin FC game, sorry. And they did not win. They played to a draw, which is frustrating because they were up 1-0 until the 85th minute. And then they let in, they were playing kind of not great the whole time anyway. Very concerned about this season for them. It doesn't look like we have anyone. We've got this really great midfielder who's an MVP candidate last year. And he's not really playing, I won't say up to his potential, but I will say what we're used to expecting from him. We've also got a couple players that the team spent a lot of money on that aren't playing great at all. We've got this center forward who's that's really pretty, if you can see that, who hasn't done anything. I think he's a little past his prime, but he's this tall guy, doesn't go up for any headers, just kind of every time he gets the ball he just kind of blocks the dude behind him like he's posting up in the paint, and then invariably gets the ball taken from him. He hasn't scored anything. It's kind of frustrating to watch. We've got a lot of hardworking backfield, but I don't know. We just seem to be outrun by everybody. Like we don't have a lot of speed or size, and I don't know how we got so far last year with this team, but. Yeah, didn't win but didn't lose. Got a point out of the thing. Didn't get 3 points, but we got a point. But as always, we're in the supporter section, so we shouted our brains out and got, you know, water and beer showers and sang a lot and jumped up and down. So my feet hurt, my legs are sore. Oh, and I'm super congested. If you can hear it in my voice. And then later today, we're gonna go back out. It's a friend's birthday, and we're gonna go to this brewery out in Wimberley, which is southwest of here, called the Shady Llama, because the ladies, the Patch group, met the other day, and we met the lady who owns the Shady Llama. She's now part of the Patch group. So I got some stickers from her and talked to her about the last time we were out there, and it was really good. She's like, you should come back. We got this new food truck. So we're like, we will definitely go. So that's what we're doing today. Also, for this friend's birthday yesterday, we went to an escape room downtown Austin, and we crushed it. It was 7 of us, and we did really well. Everybody, it was kind of the perfect run because I feel like everybody got everybody was able to solve like one of the major clues. Like, we didn't time it that way. We didn't say, all right, it's your turn, so and so, you figure this one out. It just sort of organically, someone was like, what about this? And everyone went, good find, you know, kind of thing. And like everybody had one of those moments. And we had a good mix of like people who were good at math, and people who were good at puzzles, and people who were good at recognizing. There was even a shooting gallery in one of these. So everybody got turns doing that, and everybody was able to, you know, it was just really good. It was really fun. So I think we're energized with it, and we want to go back and solve more stuff. So family is coming over tonight. We're celebrating mine and my mom's birthdays. Happy birthday. Hey, you know what? Happy birthday. That sounds great. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And your family has a good time. That's really pretty. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try to hold this up. It's pretty stable. Except for that little candelabra in the back that I just knocked down. That's really pretty. It's a nice little throne room area. I think this is all going to be open up, and this is where the ring meeting is going to take place. So. Are you and your mom's birthday the same day, or are they just close enough where you're like, we do it on this weekend? My brother and I were like that. Our birthdays are a day apart and a day and 3 years apart. So every year when we were kids, we would just have them all on the same weekend. I don't know if my brother's bitter about that or not. I mean, it wasn't like you're also celebrating your birthday with your brother, because I was also celebrating my birthday with my brother, you know, so it wasn't like either of us had our own birthday. It was like you and your brother's birthday weekend kind of thing. For a second I thought you were saying that's how old you were. It's like your 24th birthday, but I was just like, it's like there's no way that math works. That's cool. What is today anyway? 26th. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday. I hope you get lots of Lego. If you want Lego. I know sometimes for my birthday I'm like, because we're into Lego, a lot of times our family is stymied a bit because they're like, we don't know what Lego you already have, so we don't get you any. And I'm like, that's a fair assessment. I will say that you can get me anything you want. You also don't have to get me anything. I'm kind of an old dude now, so I don't really need anything. But I always have stuff in the kitchen that I need. Like right now I could really use some new nonstick pans and some new cookie sheets. So I may be asking for that for my birthday. But like for Christmas, Beth got me or paid for a tattoo. You know, and then this coming year, not doing anything for each other for like Christmases and birthdays because we're going to be saving for a vacation. So that's our present to each other. I say that, I'm going to sneak her a couple presents. It's just how it works. And she's going to hate it. Yeah, I usually try to keep a Amazon list at least. So like if anybody asks, I can point them to that and be like, these are the things I kind of really want. The problem is I don't always take things off that list. So that list becomes, here's some retired sets that are impossible to get. So it looks really daunting. So people just go, here's an Amazon gift card. And you're like, okay, that's cool. Amazon sells Lego. So what does everybody else got going on? We got birthdays. Anybody doing any shopping or movie going or anything like that? It's all very pretty. So we had some kids over here for a little bit, and I pulled out a couple like backlog sets, like small things for them to, you know, kind of muck with, because I have Lego all over the house, and I'm like, please don't play with that. But at the same time, I'm like, if you do, I don't care, you know. And Beth is like, yeah, I don't understand. They're toys, aren't they? And I'm like, no, if they're out on display like that, they're models. I was like, do you see me playing with these? Do you see me walking around the house like flying these spaceships? No, you don't, because I wait till you're not here and then I fly the spaceship around. So no one makes fun of me. My problem is like the $100 sets, so I find smaller sets. Yeah. Same. Like I don't expect anybody to get me, you know, modulars or anything. But it's like, that's really all I want. I don't want the $40. Although some of them are cool. Like I would take some of the, like the bird set, the parrot set that's out right now. I would take that, or the 3 dogs. That would be pretty fun. It was one of those where I may not get it for myself, but if somebody wanted to get it, that'd be perfect. So yeah, you're right. There's always a couple of those types of things floating around. Upside down. Ooh, the Mario movie. I forgot about that. I know my son's excited to see that. I may end up going with him, but I'm not terribly excited about it. I still didn't see the Sonic movie, despite the fact that I've heard like even the redo version of it when it originally came out. It was pretty good. Oh, this is an interesting piece. I don't think I've seen one with the bar going down. I've seen the ones where the bar goes up. Fascinating. Banshees of Ire something was interesting if you haven't watched. Hi, Connor. How are you? Banshees of Ireland? Let's look this up. Banshees. Oh, Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah, I think that's definitely on my list because I really liked In Brugge a lot. But I think I might go see that myself. I don't think my kid will like it. And I don't know that I can talk Beth into going to too many movies. And I don't know if this is one that she would like. I don't know if she's seen In Bruges or not. John Wick 4 is coming out, right? Which is another sad thing. Because Lance Hendrickson was, I think that's like his last movie role. I don't know if anything else is coming out. You know your Imperial Juggernaut from The Mandalorian? I know of it. Does it have an error in the instructions? I don't even know if I've made instructions. I've made so many of these. Oh, cool. Well, if it's on HBO, I'll watch it if it's on HBO, yeah. I think it was out in the theater a couple months ago, so maybe it already went to HBO. That's cool. I did like In Bruges a lot. And it's when I didn't think I would. I'm like, really? Is there any way of doing the wheel different? Well, let's take a look. I have to find it first. Built. I have it built, so it'll be in the built folder. Wow. It's Juggernaut. Okay. Is there any way of doing the wheels different? So, probably. Those pieces are just the like the 2x2 plates with like the fenders coming up with the wheel spikes coming off of it. You do not have the wheels, or do you not have the axle plate pieces that go underneath? The only reason I did this is because I had a ton of these wheels, and I was like, well, that's probably a good way to do it. And they're very small, so it's a good way to get them compact. Another way would be, I mean, you could kind of do any wheels you want. It just changes the height of the overall thing. So whatever wheel frames that you've got, I'm sure will work fine. Just got to keep in mind that it changes the height. But yeah, I mean, none of these, I haven't built it differently to test it out, but you know, you build it however you want, really. You don't have any wheels or frames. You don't have any, like 100% no wheels. So I don't know why you would be trying to build a wheeled vehicle then. Unless I'm misunderstanding something. You just don't have those wheels. I'm going to make a joke about Wi-Fi here in a second, so don't be offended. But do those wheels connect to my Wi-Fi? That's my new favorite thing on TikTok now, is to just ask people if certain things connect to their Wi-Fi. This is a very, very cool connection here, and this would have taken me years to figure out. You can see that connection up in there. No wheel, but I got an idea. Okay, cool. Good luck with your idea. I wish you the best. You could probably, if you don't have wheels, you have round plates. You could do round plates and then round tiles with, or just round tiles that have the jumper stud on it. So a 2x2 round with the jumper. And then on top of that, you could put some sort of dish or maybe a hubcap if you got hubcaps or something. And then you could put those in, you can connect those via a bar, like a 2x2 bar, or how wide was that? Maybe a 4-length bar. And then that bar would go in between maybe a Technic brick with a pin in it, but like a gray pin, so it's loose, so they roll. The wheels would be a little bigger than that, but that might work. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, those wheels are probably about 2/3 the size of a 2x2 plate. So you may not get the same, although they fit on a 2x2 plate axle size. So you may get a little rubbing together. You know what did that? You know, the same process, the same thing was the turbo tank, the other Juggernaut, honestly, which is I thought was funny. The clone turbo tank is also called a Juggernaut, and I found it funny that the same giant wheeled vehicle that the Mandalorians used was also called a Juggernaut. It's like, could you not come up with another name meaning large thing, you know? Unstoppable thing. Alright, so we get a new figure this time. I don't know how many more figures we got, but we got quite a few. We're going to get Boromir this time with his great shield and his even greater hair. Because one does not simply walk into Mordor. That was a really great episode. I liked how sometimes you could tell that the episode was very... this is a heist one, or this is a horror one, or this is a buddy cop one, or something like that. And as much as I'm kind of getting tired of Bill Burr and his comedy and stuff, he's as Mayfield, he was great. Like, I enjoyed the character. There's your Boromir with his great shield and his awesome hair. Alright, I'm going to get another set of bricks for this, so give me 1 minute. Hey in there. How you doing? Is my jersey in that load of wash?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna say please don't dry it.
Oh, I'm gonna dry it.
Huh?
I'm gonna dry it.
Hey, thanks. You can't stop me, I'm drying it. Because I can't do anything half-assed. I hate to say that on YouTube, but I have to have the same, I have to do the same bar. I can't just do one thing. That's guy's gotta be pulled up. Alright, so now we have more of the Fellowship. There, I guess I could have extended it since I raised the camera up. Well, I'm gonna go build it now. Okay, cool. Well, have fun. We'll talk to you later. Report back when you've got it finished. Ooh, look at these 4x4 dark orange tiles. Wow, that's nice. Not gonna lie, that's super cool. Alright, so we got Boromir, and it's time to start doing... I don't know what we're doing next. I'm guessing... Oh, this is gonna be the roof. This is gonna be the big thing, I'm going to guess. Yeah, that tile's what we call sexy. So this is the time of the show when I plug Brick Rodeo for next year. Tiles are your favorite parts? Yeah, I think for a long time they were mine too. Just the ability to hide studs usually was pretty high up there on the reason I liked parts. So for those of you who are not in Houston or Austin, July 8th through the 9th through the 12th, whatever after the July 4th weekend, is Brick Rodeo in Sugar Land, Texas. It's outside of Houston. That is Brick Rodeo 2024. I try not to say it's Brick Rodeo Houston. It's just Brick Rodeo 2024. Or 2023, sorry. So if you'd like to attend, now is the time to register your mock. And I think there's still a few tickets for all access left. So give it a go. Be great to visit some of y'all if you want to come into the state. And then 2024 again will be here in Austin. And I haven't decided yet if I want to be involved in that or not. I did last year, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of long hours, long days. So I'm not convinced that I want to do that again. It was fun, but I think I'd rather just kind of maybe show up with my models and participate in events. I'm sure at some point I'll be tasked to like help out do stuff, but oh. I was like, what is that? That's this thing. So this is, they've been using these a lot. So you're going to get a lot of sand green, modified 2x3s with a technical on one side. I'm extra phlegmy today. It was super fun. To varying degrees of awesomeness, they've been using this as sort of the top of the roof look, which I think is kind of interesting. Nope, it doesn't go there. Oh, it does go all the way over. Okay. Too bad that tile is not in lug bulk for our space project yet. Did you look it up? Did you just look it up? I know I sent that list to a few people. I just don't remember who I sent it to. I probably need to send it to Ed. I think he's building a lot of stuff just out of studio, but without the parts list to know if we can actually use a lot of those. So I have to no, I have sent it to you. Okay. Yeah, that'd be a great piece to have for that. I don't know, like, you would just make a smooth, it would be like you smoothed out a portion of the Martian landscape at that point, but it'd still be a cool piece to get. He posted, Ed posted kind of an update of moonscape or the Marsscape, which I think looks pretty good. So I'm hoping people are okay with the idea. See, Frankie, you made a difference. We I think people are on board with Mars. So that's very cool. And honestly, it's kind of like, I don't really care if we do Moon or Mars. I think a lot of people are like, doesn't really matter. Let's just do a thing. There. Oh. And it had one more piece on the back here. I think it's going to pop. It's going to have the dark orange and the brown landscape, and it's going to have the big white base on top of it. I think it's going to be hopping. It's gonna pop really well. I think the gray base plate with like the classic. I think people kind of they've seen so much classic space that I think their eyes kind of slide off classic space anymore, just because it's been around for nigh on 50 years now. And I think having the new hotness of Mars instead of the moon is going to draw some attention, especially if we get a lot of people to do it and it's this giant thing like the castle is going to be. I think that's going to be pretty killer. Hopefully we can get it all done and everybody agrees and the base turns out okay and we can get all the parts and... But so far, everybody seems pretty okay with it. I don't know what Brian was talking about with his dome. Like, he said he was going to try to reduce something and make it bigger. And I'm like, really? It's kind of cool the way it is. We just have, like, this big dome that looks like it's under construction. That's going to be great, man. We'll see. Also, I'm having a bit of crisis of confidence because I'm designing the moon base, and I'm like, yeah, this could look cooler. I just don't know how. So it's, you know, I don't want to just throw something out there and not have it be cool, but also it's got to fit the amount of parts that we have or the parts limits. So has anyone played the new racing game yet? The Lego 2K Racing? It looks fun. Somebody in our Lug Discord was like, this looks cool. I just hope there's like weight and aerodynamics involved and not like every car moves the exact same way. Because then it kind of doesn't really matter what you do to it. It's just for cosmetics. And I tend to agree. Like, I want there to be reasons you have a chicken as a car or a hamburger versus just like a racing car or something. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing up here. Uh-oh. Did I forget? I did. All this talk about how cool this looks, and you can't even see what it looks like. Excuse me. Trying to think of other news. It's hard to like come up with new news when you're doing this twice a week. I don't think any new sets have come out. Come on, man. Really? Am I just messing this up so much? Or news of new sets have come out. The Bad Batch has a really great new ship in it. I tried to crank out a excuse me, a microfighter as fast as I could for it, which was lucky because I had so in the Bad Batch, if you haven't watched the Bad Batch, the new ship shows up and it's Echo and Fireball and Gregor, and it's not Rex. We don't see Rex, but it's a handful of them. They show up in this Corellian like shuttle, modified shuttle or frigate, and go after an Imperial Gozanti that's transporting clone prisoners. And they rescue the prisoners, but they, it's really cool sequence. It's very, very awesome. And so the ship's really cool, though. But I'm looking at it, I was like, this looks a lot like... When I was pausing and looking at the frames, each of the frames, I was like, this looks a lot like the Maison Martinet, which was the Crimson Corsair ship from... Oh, not a round one by one. There's a scene in the Force Awakens where they are in Maz's castle, and Finn is like, I am leaving. I am a stormtrooper who's wanted, and I have to go make my own way in the universe. You guys have fun fighting the First Order. I do not want to be involved in that. And so he goes and joins up with the Crimson Corsair. And his ship is the Maison Martinet. And I think there's a book about him and a comic and something else about this character. He's a very cool looking character. He's got like this cool red mask with like these horns coming out of the side of it and whatnot. Can't see the piece I need. Yeah. That piece is not around here. Did I use another piece somewhere? I've only been doing this with this bag. I can't imagine that I've used that other piece. I have been moving this around a lot, so maybe it got dragged somewhere. No? Oh, it's right in front of me. Big old derps. Big old derps. Anyway, so when I was watching the episode, I was like, oh, cool, that looks like this ship. So it was really easy to adapt it from that. It's basically like, it's another Corellian design. They say it's heavily modified. It's a heavily modified Corellian star shuttle. Which, when you look up a star shuttle, and you've seen one of these in one of the prequels, it's like this it looks like a shoe with like 3 engines on the back, right? It's like this big red thing with like this big white front end that looks like the toe of a Converse shoe. And then it's got 3 engines in sort of the land speeder orientation on the back. And it was really easy to kind of turn that into a new ship, because all you had to do is recolor it and change the engines from like 2 big ones to like 2 clusters of 2 on either side. And then I changed the back a little bit because we were able to see the back in the show. And the Maison Martinet, I was never able to see the back, so I kind of made it up. So it turned out good. Hopefully I can get I'd rather have a kind of a I put Echo in there as a figure, which I think is fine. I'll just use the Echo from the Bad Batch. I want an Echo that has an actual like scomp hand that's, you know, like almost, I don't know what you could put in an arm slot that's the size of a hand pin though, and like get away with it. I'm sure there's pieces that have that size in it, but what he really needs is like a screwdriver end, right? Something that looks like a scomp or the droid interface instead of just giving him a gray hand. I'm like, that's a cheap way out, but whatever. But he also wasn't really the pilot. Like, I kind of want to make... I think Gregor was more the pilot, so maybe we could get a clone Gregor and make him the pilot. Good way to have, like, another minifigure in there. It's a good episode, too. They've all been good episodes. Bad Batch this season's been really good. Eight. And then I have an extra one. Oh, an upside down one. Okay. There's another cool bit of architecture on this one. I don't remember episode 10, Frankie, or I don't remember them by number. Is that the one where they go to the Hawaiian planet? And spend time going, you know, we could live here. This would be a great place to hide from Sid. Dun dun dun. Hide from Sid. So there's more of your cool architecture on the roof there. It's another tower just like the other side. Has the two. Oh, it has two towers. Wow. That's almost like poetry. It rhymes. This goes up here. Oh, these are going to have stickers. Big ol' stickers. Ruining these awesome tiles with these stickers. One is of a sailing ship. I'm assuming that's the sailing ship that brought them from the Undying Lands. It was the episode with the Senate. Oh, what's her name? Chuchi? The one from like earlier in the Clone Wars, where she's like trying to get rights for the clones. That was pretty good. That's some good world building setup stuff. See how far do these go up? They cover up that. There we go. Some really big, high up paintings here. Cool. She's a good character. Like when you first see her in Clone Wars, and she's like the aide to that really crappy senator. I didn't get a whole lot from her character then, but I don't think that was the point. But it was really cool that they brought her back to play a bigger role for the clones. I love this like arc of what happens to clones after the war. It's very topical and important. I feel like I'm missing something. Missing a big old tile somewhere. This is whatever rakish angle you want to put it up there. I think the other side is the same thing. I guess it's equally as rakish. All right, now I got to figure out where I have a whole ass 1x4 tile that I didn't put on somewhere. Got to figure out where that went. Ha. Easy enough. Cool beans. All right. Bag 37, 38, and 39. So hang on to your butts. This is where we start tiling roofs. Another 2. Yep. I'm just going to move this back because we're not going to need it. And this is it for this empty bag of giant pieces. So 37. $38 and $39. So other than your monthly mocks, do you guys have any projects you're working on? Anything big? Anything you're doing for like getting ready for Brick Rodeo? If you're going to Brick Rodeo, if not, just something that you're working on that's like your. Do you have a magnum opus that you're working on? Maybe this is going to be my big thing for the next couple years. Big model, 8-foot table-sized model of the Twin Pines Mall or Imperial Senate or Babylon 5 or something. Not working on anything? Do you want to be? Do you have any ideas? Like, if I had there's a question that asked, I think it was on the Lego Instagram account, maybe? They did a story where, or maybe it was like Wired or something, but Lego reposted it, where they're like, this is how these people answered, if you had all the Lego in the world, what would you build? And of course everyone's like, a working Ferrari. It's like, I don't think Lego makes certain things. Definitely not working electronics or computer pieces or things that can combust or rubber in that size. But my answer was a minifigure scale Venator cruiser. So if you had all the Lego you could in the world that you could get a hold of, every piece, every part, every quantity, every color, what's a thing that you would love to build? Let's say you had your whole life and all these parts to work on. Because I have a feeling like if I was going to do a Venator cruiser, I'd have to get technical specs, and I'd have to get like those cross-section pages, and I'd have to get like a bunch of designers to help me out and whatever. But I think that'd be fun, because then I could stick little bitty Ahsoka in there somewhere and some Y-wings in the hangar. I think that'd be fun. Some Y-wings and some I can never remember the names of these. It's a Torrent, V19 Torrent, and the 3-winged one, the one that flies like this. And then the I can't remember the other one. The precursor to the X-wing, 1x5 plate, still feels like an abomination. The Arc 170, V19 Torrent, and the Arc 170. You can put them in there. You can put a couple Jedi Delta 7Bs in there, just a couple, because I think every Jedi had their own Venator, like they were tasked with a task force and were on a single Venator. Brick Vault kind of already did a big Masasi temple from A New Hope, so that'd be a cool thing to do, like a minifig scale Yavin 4 base Masasi temple. That'd be kind of fun. Trying to think of like non-Star Wars related stuff, but my problem is every time I visualize something, I visualize like Legoland things, and they all look like Lego builds, right? They don't look like there's just like studs everywhere and everything's blocky, and you're kind of like, well, I could build a life-size dragon and it would look like a Lego dragon, you know. Right. I'd probably do something Horizon related, but I don't know what. Maybe like a big Horus or something. I'm still so bummed about Lance Reddick. I wrote into, there's an NPR show called 1A, and I wrote in, they were doing kind of like we're catching up on the week's news, and one of the pieces was for Lance Reddick. And they mentioned he was in The Wire and Fringe and another show, and I don't remember. And so I emailed him real quick, like as the show's happening, I found their email and emailed him in, and I think they never read these or whatever. But like as I'm pulling into my driveway, after I went to I think I just went to the doctor. They're like, and Ben writes in and says, I basically was like, Lance Reddick has also done a lot of video game voices and mocap, and he's in a game. Did I miss something up here? I was like, his image will be in a game that's coming out this month, and it's going to be weird, and we don't know what it's going to mean for the future of the series either, and he'll be terribly missed. So they read it on air, and I'm like, oh, I got read on air. Oh, also, so last season we got pretty good seats at one of the Austin games, and we were on TV for like a hot second, and we got like everybody texted us, because you were able to watch it. They had a national broadcast, I think, but they also had a local broadcast. So a lot of people we knew locally in Austin were texting, especially Cheryl and Claire. I got like one person texting me for my job who is a fan, and they're like, we saw you on TV. And so we get done with the game and we look at our Instagram posts, and a member of the group, the Patches group, posted a picture that they're watching on the Apple TV Plus or whatever. That's how you get the game. That they found us on not the kiss cam or the smile cam, but just like the camera that goes through the audience. And it's very cool because we're all on there, and we're like, "Hey, patch crew represent." Let's see if I can find it. And Cheryl and Claire look like they're having a great time. And I look like so here's the picture. I don't know if I can turn it and see, you can see it. There's the picture, right? That's another person in our group, Megan, and then there's Cheryl and Claire. And there's me looking like, if you can see that, I look like something's wrong with my shorts. I think we were all just kind of like dancing and moving, or I was tying a scarf, or I was straightening my jacket or something. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but I look like I'm looking down at my junk going, well, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So we were all excited. We're like, yay, we were on the TV. And I'm like, oh, could they not have picked a worse picture? Oh my God. Like, I'm hoping the broadcast has me like look up and smile and do whatever else, but I'm just like, oh God, that's unfortunate. I look like a doofus. I'm working on the Quarren boat from The Mandalorian Chapter 11, the Heiress for Brick Rodeo. That's super cool, man. I want to do an AT-AT or an AT-AT crane from, I think, that same episode, right? I think that'd be a cool build. I'm going to try to do a microfighter of that. Because that's a cool thing, like the head of the legs of an AT-AT, and then this has got a big old crane on the front of it, which is interesting, only because I think, oh, here we go, okay. The original concept for walkers was somebody, they had seen some big like metal shipping yard rigging things that looked like that. They were like these big walker things with cranes on them, and I'm like, I feel like we're going backwards now. So, all right, so this is going to be the boring part of this, where I do this basically. I can't make that look like any closer. So here we go. And I'm going to try not to spend too much time doing them so perfect, because then you run through it with a plate and straighten them all out. So I'm just going to try to get them on here, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here going the whole time, and that won't be fun for anyone. Frankie, are you a beer drinker? I think I asked you this and you said you weren't. I kind of want to get the Lego group to like do a non-Lego outing, just to see who would go. Just go to a brewery or something. Maybe we do. That's the thing though with the Lego group. It's like, well, why am I hanging out with you if it's not for Lego related stuff? It's like, maybe we're friends, you know. But you're not here to give me free Lego stuff. I don't know what to tell you then. Just to see who's like into breweries or beverages or stuff like that. Well then fine, we can't be friends. Sorry. I kid. I have found that the Venn diagram of Lego people and people who don't drink, or Venn diagram of like Lego people and like we got to have a beverage once every other weekend or something like that, or drive out to see a new brewery, a new Braunfels, or go to some opening of something, is like there's very little overlap. I think like in our group I might be it. Maybe Harlan, because he does, I know he goes to the soccer games. I don't know that means he's a beer drinker or anything, but at the same time I'm like, maybe he has a beverage, but yeah, it's a weird thing. I think Brian maybe does. I'm trying to remember the people who I got to go to when we were at Bricks Colleen to go get a drink after the event, and like I couldn't get anybody to go. It was the weirdest thing. I went to there was a brewery up there I'm like, hey, cool, there's this Czech brewery over here. We should go. And everyone's like, all right, cool. And then I go, and nobody went with me. And not only that, and now keep in mind this is Colleen, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I would think an army base town would have people at pubs and breweries and stuff. But on a Friday night at 8 o'clock at a brewery, I was the only one there. Like, there was a group there that was there earlier, but it was like parents and kids. It was like a family. And I think that's where it falls down a little bit, is that it is an army base, but it's a town built up from the people who are families of service people. But like, there was a dude playing music, and he was really good. It was mostly covers, but you could tell he was kind of a little bit of a punk feel to it. And so like, he'd play and I'd cheer, and he's like, thank you very much. But I'm like, this is really weird. So I had like 2 beers, and they had like chicken and waffle food truck outside. I'm like, why is this place not absolutely hopping right now? So after a couple hours, I left. I went back to my hotel. I'm like, that was sad. This is ridiculous. Do that, straighten them. Now it's this. That's 3 whole pages that we didn't need, but whatever. That may be true. I didn't even think about that. There's probably the base bars that are probably cheaper. Like a lot of happy hours, a lot of 2-for-1s, a lot of deals on pitchers. You can drink with your squad mates or your buddies. But yeah, I was just like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. That's a very good point. We did go to the there's a place called like the Iron something or other that was like a bar and grill, and we got food, and that place was pretty happening. There was at least a crowd, but the beer was not great. It tasted like mothballs. It was really unfortunate, and that just may have been the style, and I don't like that style, so I'm probably a bit of a beer snob. Like, if I'm gonna drink to get drunk, I would also like it to taste good. If I wanted to drink to get drunk, I would just drink I would just do shots of vodka. But I do not do that anymore because I'm old and the recovery is a lot more intense than it used to be. The reason I asked Frankie is there's a new place opening up in Pflugerville at some point in downtown Pflugerville called Prost. I don't know when it's going to open. They've been building it for like 2 years. They started construction. It was where the either right next to or took over the building that was, because it's like literally the little downtown square where the daycare was, like Magic Kingdom or something. Daycare. It's in that little building right next to Freedom Machine, and hopefully they open soon. And then there's always Three-Legged Goat right across the way, and Hanover's, and that little area is kind of cute. I want to go back more often. Man down. We did go to Garbo's yesterday over on Mopac and Palmer, and I haven't been to it since it became Garbo's. Like the last time we were there, it was Opal Divines, and we went because Opal Divines was closing, and this was like kind of their last weekend, and they had big festivals planned, and a friend of ours was doing his fife and bagpipe band were doing, oh, Jiminy Christmas. That went hard for a second. So we went and watched them, got some fish and chips and some Guinness, and kind of toasted the end of that restaurant. But I haven't been back since they turned it. It was something else too, and then it became a Garbo's. What's up, stud? Everything is going swimmingly. Thank you. How are you? But it's a nice place now. It's really well done. The food's pretty good. We were able to get some interesting fish dishes. Friends of ours got like oysters, and then I got this great avocado toast thing that had like a bunch of bacon and tomatoes on it, and a fried egg, so it was really good, and an arugula salad. I mean, this is a restaurant run by hipsters, so if that means anything. So they've had a food truck in Austin for many, many years, and they're famous for their lobster roll sandwiches, which are very good. But the one time we went to the actual brick and mortar version of it, it felt like we were intruding, first of all. Like, we got there and nobody like greeted us, but it was a sit-down restaurant, so we were like, well, where do we sit? And then like finally somebody came up to us and was kind of like, do you guys want to sit somewhere? And we're like, really? Not with that attitude, we don't. And then the food was like, all right. So we're like, okay, maybe this is an off night for them, but this place was great. Like, bartenders were great, staff was great. So highly recommend. And then they have a creamery attached to them where you can get ice cream. They also have just like regular desserts. So we didn't get anything from the creamery. I got a dessert, because by the time we ate all our food, we're like, ugh, so full, so good. So yeah, would recommend checking out. It's pretty good. A little pricey. It's seafood, but I mean, it's, you know, even then it's a little much, but pretty good. Do they go below? No, they do not. I didn't think so. Love a good lobster roll. New England is full of lobster roll places. My brother moved to Portland, Maine. I love visiting him. You get lobster right off the boat. I mean, lobster is tasty. It's just a 7-hour drive to get there for me, though. Yeah, the friends that we went with are the girl whose the lady whose birthday is this weekend, and the reason we went out yesterday. They're from Maine, and they moved here because they were tired of the Maine weather. Which I'm like, oh, I miss snow. And they're like, we don't. That's why we moved to Texas. But we do threaten to go back and visit. And they're like, if you do, these are the places you should go. Okay. But yeah, they talked about all the different places to go get food and what's a good place to go get lobster and all that kind of stuff. Wow, like I Houston's only like 3 hours away, and I won't even drive that in a day. I should have waited until I got all these done. But that's my cousin lives out there, and he's first cousin, and I know him pretty well. And he's got a family that I haven't seen a whole lot of. And it's only like two and a half hours, but I don't know. And I like me some road trips. I just don't like going to Houston. But I'd be like, Louisiana, 7 hours? Golden. It's like if I wanted to go to the same kind of distance, if I want to go to Louisiana just to get food, which totally worth it, by the way. I would totally do that. Because the food there is amazing. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't have grandkids yet, but I'm sure the desire to see grandkids is pretty strong sometimes. My dad just sent a picture. He got he and my stepmom have an RV, and they got a little tow car. And they call them toads, like TOAD, because they get towed behind the car, behind the RV. I'm like, well, that's cute. If a little onomatopoeic or whatever it is, alliterative, hominin mystic, I don't know. That's not right. So he sent me a picture. He's like, springtime in Colorado, and it was his lawn with a lot of snow, but it's a little Fiat. His little Fiat was buried. I was like, well, at least you won't have as much snow to remove from your car because it's such a little car. Meanwhile, the little tow car that he has behind his RV is actually a car that I would buy just to have as a car. Like, I would get a Fiat just to have. I think that's funny. Oh, God. Will this ever end? I don't even know where I am now. Oh, and this is funny. And just do the rest. Okay. Alternate. Oh, this is boring. It's at this point I'm like, couldn't you have made a sticker for the roof? Yeah, I couldn't do back and there in the same day, especially like Beth's parents, and no, I don't think it will ever end, Bissy. Beth's parents live about a 12-hour drive, which isn't terrible because you can do it in a day. They will stop halfway. They're older, so they'll stop halfway, which halfway is Texarkana, and I'm like, I would not stop in Texarkana. I would stop to get gas, and that is about it. And I've driven that by myself. When we first started dating, first Christmas, the kids went up with their moms to El Paso. And we usually would trade off to where, like, one year they'd go to El Paso, and then when they got back, we'd go to Colorado. But the last few years, I'm like, I don't like going to see my family in Colorado because it's 3 different visits. Because I go see my dad, and then my mom, and then my brother, because nobody likes each other. But so I drove up to Beth flew, and then I drove out to meet them. in my little Mazda 2. Just the whole time, little hamster's going crazy. Okay, nothing there. And it wasn't really a long drive. I was able to I was playing Ingress at the time, so it turned a 12-hour drive into like a 15-hour drive because I was stopping everywhere to like scan a church or put up a link somewhere or try to get some keys for something. So yeah, oh, I bet the lobster's cheap. You don't have to ship it anywhere. You can just go ask somebody for some. Just, hey, could I get some of that? And they're like, yeah, sure. It'll cost you whatever much, but at least I don't have to take it to the thing, and I still get paid. In fact, I bet, like, I have no idea how the fishing community works on the East Coast, but I bet they have, like, something similar to, like, a farmer's market where you can go to the docks and buy stuff before they send it to market, and it's fresh, and it's probably a little cheaper, but not, like, super cheap, but you're still getting pretty good seafood. All right, then let's just finish this whole corner out here. Oh, fishmongers. That's where, yeah, okay. That's where you go to get your good catch. Catch of the day. Going up to West Side. Throw a fish to a player. Throw a fish in the air. What's the Macklemore song? Right. And then 2 green and a pink. Sorry, a salmon. And then a tan. I thought I was going to have a leftover one, but apparently not. But that's cool. I will say that I think having more of this salmon color in here gives it a little more of the earthy quality I was kind of hoping for. I think the salmon and the blue throw it a little bit, but whatevs. It's fine. And then now it's done, so I don't have to worry about it. So this is going to go on the top. Hopefully those are all straight enough. They look okay. That look good to everybody? I do have a hobby town. Oh, they did. Nice. I don't know if I'm going to get those yet or not, but I mean, that's the one thing I should be talking about is like the indie sets are starting to show up in places. Oh, so I got Peridot. I got the APK for it. I don't think I'm able to play it again because I think I've got a authentication loop going on. So Peridot, if you don't know, if anybody's played Ingress or Pokemon Go, they know the company Niantic, and that's the company that made Pokemon Go. And I think Niantic is just they're just an offshoot of Google, and they're trying to make a thing that gathers May data and stuff or whatever. So the new one, Peridot, is more like Pokemon Go is you've got a collection. Everybody knows what Pokemon are. You get a Pokedex. You have several monsters that you kind of keep track of, and you evolve them and do all this stuff. But Peridot is more like a Tamagotchi, in that you get one animal, and then you raise that animal and then release it into the wild. So the idea is, for some reason, a lot of these animals are close to being extinct. So it's our job to help by raising them and feeding them and evolving them, and then when they're grown, we release them back into the wild. So, but it's like, you know, you got to walk them around, you got to pet them, you got to feed them, you got to go look for things in your AR world to satisfy their whatevers. So I got it yesterday. It's not released yet. I got the APK for my Android, and I tried to open it up last night at the Austin FC game, and it's like, we can't authenticate you. I'm like, I know, but I logged in already. They're like, yeah, but we can't authenticate you. I'm like, well, shoot. It's probably broken. I probably have to like reinstall or something. I have not played many Zelda games since the original 2. I think I played... I don't think I played Breath of the Wild, but I played the one before it a little bit. Princess something? I mostly watched somebody else play it, so it wasn't really me playing it. I'm more of a Metroid fan, so I played all the Metroid games. Twilight Princess, yeah. I think I've played every Metroid game. I think. Oh, this is off. There we go. Original Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Prime. There's not been many Metroid games. They do like a lot of reissues and stuff, but... Alright, here we go. Alright, so attaching it there, and these are black and dark gray at the top, and the single ones. Let's put those in to start. Oh wow, no, you gotta... They're on the outside, okay. Well, knew that was gonna happen. Where did you come off of? It was a little tricky, but if you're gonna build this, it does sit in here really nicely first. So you can just kind of set it in here and it should line up with what it needs to click or feed into here. So you shouldn't have to like hold it really a whole lot. still, it is a bit of a lineup to get it right. So what's the first set that did this like leaning roof build style, do you think? Brick Pasta! I didn't see you show up. So YouTube doesn't actually show you live. It just gave me a notify box on your thumbnail, but it does show you live in my subscribe to list. Okay, so it doesn't show up in like this user is live thing? That's weird. Why is this not? Remember what I said about this lining up well? Because it kind of isn't, and it's giving me problems. And you got to be careful where you put your hands because everything under here is very... I think I just broke something. Everything under here is very filigreed, and it will, like, if you put your hand in there, it'll fall apart. So you got to be careful with that. People were bummed there's no dad stream. Yeah, I checked out like 7:30 or so this morning, thinking I'd like have my breakfast and watch the dad stream, and I didn't see it. Not sure. Just seeing constant suggestions in my feeds about it. I'm afraid to read about it. Probably won't have time for. Oh, okay. Ben's channel is AI proof. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what it means to like. I don't know kind of what you were talking about with it's not showing up somewhere. Which is really frustrating. Like, I don't know if that means, like, my live content isn't being promoted or something for, like, regular viewers who are like, oh, let's see what's live right now. And then they don't see my channel. And it's like, well, then... So this is why I'm bouncing back and forth between YouTube and Twitch, because I don't think either service cares about its clients, like, at all. So... It's just a matter of which tools you like best and where your community is. And I feel like this is my community, so I don't know. It shows that I'm upcoming. I mean... Let me check my channel. What? But I'm live. And I picked the I don't know. I think it's just YouTube weirdness because I did all the things where it's like, pick the one that you're going to go live on and whatever. I hate this sometimes. All right, anyway. What time is it? Okay, we got time for one more bag, I think. This one's going to get us Legolas. So here's your roof with the meeting space kind of cut out in the middle of it there. This is bag 40. I have 9 more bags after this. Yeah. So many bags to recycle. Yeah, he really was. Destined to be a Lego figure. He's absolutely right. So we've got these dual molded hair again. I'm going to make him smiling Legolas because I don't like angry Legolas. And he gets a bow. You have my bow. I saw a video today that was Lord of the Rings, but it's only every time Legolas talks to Frodo. And it says it has the title card, and then it has him go, and you have my bow. And then it says directed by Peter Jackson, because I think that's the only time they talk to each other. So this is Lego, and this is Legolas. Is that the joke? So he's got like boots on his legs, and he's got his tunic is longer, and he's got, again, that dual molded ears in the hair. Pretty cool hair in the back there, braided and whatnot. So he gets added to the row of figures. So yeah, Shelob was a good, like, that was one of the original Lord of the Rings sets, and it was pretty cool. Like, they did a good job with the spider. It wasn't, it was average size spider. And I think the spider felt like one of those, it almost felt like, do you remember the mock? Do you remember the Atlantis sets? Some of the ways they did the squids and stuff. That's what the spider felt like. That's what Shelob felt a little like. And this goes here. Oh, I think we're building the where everybody sits meeting space. Yeah, they had an old Shelob set. It came with Frodo and Sam in a ring, and the Light of Elendil little vial bottle gem thing. And I don't think it came with like a rock space or anything. It was just the figure and the two figures in the spider, if I remember correctly. Yeah, an adult version would be cool, like you said, with the little thing she can kind of crawl around while Frodo, or put a bunch of the spider web pieces in it and make it kind of like a tunnel. And give Sam a sword. A sword. Let go of him, you filth! They did a few. They did it was a council meeting set, but didn't have a whole lot of people in it. It was kind of like a gazebo, and it had like a bunch of play features, like somebody got launched off a chair. They had the meeting of Gandalf and Sauron, and it was like a big chair with like the Palantir in it. What other small ones did they have? Because then they had the big ones. They had Helm's Deep, and they didn't really do a Gondor set. And then the Hobbit did a big bag end. I'm trying to think of what else they had. I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but I got most of them, I think. Four. Yeah, the Mines of Moria had some good figures. They had, I think one of the old sets, they had a Frodo and Gandalf and a wagon. I think it was one of the sets. I don't know if we ever got a buildable Treebeard or not. I can't remember. That would be a good one with Merry and Pippin. Why can I never see the pieces that I need? Because it's over here. Old Balin figures, yeah. I mean, the Hobbit movies may have been, like, not awesome, but there would have been some great sets in that. Oh, whoops. That's backwards. Like a Lake Town set. Oh, that's right. The Orthanc set had a Ent in it. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool. I don't know if anybody's actually done that as a mock, but done whatever Treebeard calls it. The last march of the Ents. Which is kind of sad. Oh, this is just not coming apart. But I'm into dwarves. That could be taken. Oh, and I did it backwards. Monkey loving. I liked parts of the Hobbit movie, but it was so overly CGI'd that everything felt like a cartoon. Like, it wasn't even plausible realism fantasy, right? Like, Lord of the Rings felt kind of real. Like, I knew it was fantasy, but it felt real, right? There was enough practicalness and there was enough kind of griminess that it's like, this could happen. The Hobbit just felt like a cartoon. And I kept constantly being taken out of it. I do that with Lord of the Rings. I literally had it on the other day too. I'm in the middle of Two Towers right now. I was doing some sorting or something, and put it on in the background. I know Evangeline Lilly got a lot of flack for playing the unnecessary lady elf character. I like her. Like, I like everything she's been in. I don't know. I don't understand the ire, I guess, other than probably wasn't necessary to have that character. One thing I am not I'm kind of hoping that they get the Rings of Power going back again so it doesn't lose steam, because I feel like we could get some good Lego sets out of that. Get some Numenor and get some ships and get some Celebrimbor's workshop, stuff like that. A whole set of they're not halflings. What are they in this? Hardwigs? Something? I completely forgot what they're called now. Like their caravan, that would literally be a really fun set with a bunch of those and some wagons and stuff. It does have Smaug, that's true. And he was great. Smaug was great. His attack on the Lake Town was really good. Properly terrifying. Yeah, I loved the guy who played him. Was it him? Dwalin and Aragorn's scenes are all great. Everything else is fine. You know, I think the lady who's playing Galadriel is fine. You know, it's good. Got a hair stuck in there. Yeah, it's not like it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, it's hard to. It's also hard to like go after something that has little in the way of actual literary things to follow up with. There's a lot of ideas from the Second Age that we know about, but I think you could kind of tell most stories from in that age without really screwing up too much. But also, it's just fantasy. It's just, you kind of have to just kind of go with it, right? And I don't understand or notice things like how bad the plot is. Sometimes I'm like, if I don't feel like if something doesn't make my eyes roll while I'm watching it, I'm in. Like if somebody's doing a poor job of like closing loose ends or something, I just don't notice it. Like, I don't know if that's just a failing for me or if I'm easily, somebody made this comment to me the other day, like, you're really easily entertained. And I'm like, yeah. Or I'm not overly critical. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I'd rather not be one of those people. I'm also, and I posted this somewhere and I forget where, but I'm also really getting tired of knowing everything about a movie before the movie comes out, to the point where the only news I have about a movie is like how bad it's going. So-and-so's difficult to work with, or, you know, they're having to refilm because this person is a terrible person. You know, it's just like, there's so much hype set up for the movie before the movie comes out based off nothing but drama about behind the scenes parts of the movie, that when the movie comes out, there's absolutely no way it'll live up to your expectations. So let's go ahead and start instantly hating on it before anything happens. And I'm like, oh, I fondly look back to the times, because I'm an old person who likes to shout at clouds, but remember when you'd get like a trailer for a movie before another movie, and then you didn't hear anything about it for 6 months, and then the movie came out, and then you went and watched it? And now it's like my phone just is, you know, Brie Larson this and Chris Hemsworth that, and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm tired of caring so much about all that garbage. But it's hard not to look at it because it's just like right in your face. Like, I don't know what was wrong with Ant-Man, but I had fun watching it. There were some parts that were kind of like, alright, I get it, but... Alright, so this is flipped how? Like that, okay. Oh, and apparently John Majors is... Oh, that's going to be a problem. That's another thing just popped up in my feed this morning, or my little Google card thing on my phone. Apparently he's being charged for domestic abuse or something, and I'm like, shh, dude, why can't... I don't know. I'm not defending anybody who's... an abuser. I'm just like, you get like really into something, and then a person like that will just kind of ruin themselves because they're famous and their brain doesn't work normally, and I don't know, it's just frustrating. Shadow and Bone is wonderful. I just watched another episode of it before streaming. I'm at the point where this may be spoilers if you haven't been watching it, but I'm at the point where the Crow group, are trying to steal a sword, and it's currently not going well for them. And I don't know many of their names. The big-eyed girl who was the aide to Alexander and then left, she and Alexander's mom broke out, and they're now with the pirate prince, whatever. Yeah, she's cute. I like her a lot. The one that I'm currently kind of crushing on is the Heartrender with the crows. The lady who was with the... She's a Grisha, that's the word I know. But she fell in love with the guy who was... And I don't remember their country's name or anything, but he's like sworn to kill all Grishas. And they fell in love. That lady is... Whew. Amazing. She's a great character, fantastic actor, drop dead gorgeous. They're all like, it's stupid. Like even the guys, I'm like, you are entirely too good looking. What's his name? Wylan, the sharpshooter guy. That dude, that's unfair. Like he's unfair for the rest of humanity. And then his little boyfriend, the demolitions expert, looks like an anime character come to life. Stop it. Just stop it. Oh, this isn't the meeting place. This is going to be like, I don't know what all those pillars are for. That's where they picked up all the limbus, I think. Or that's just limbus. I don't know if it's where they picked it up. They picked it up from Galadriel. Or no. Yeah, Galadriel. Later. This is later. Yeah, season 2 is out. They dropped all the episodes at once. I'm trying to go through them slowly, so I'm watching Shadow and Bone and Carnival Row, and which I only have 2 left of Carnival Row, and Poker Face. Yeah, it very much gave me CW vibes, but like if CW knew what they were doing and were very good at it, you know, because like I watched a lot of CW shows and I was like, ugh. Like there was do y'all remember when the Sword of Shannara series got an MTV kind of treatment? They're like the Sword of Shannara series, and you're like, yeah. And then you're like, oh, this is terrible. It's so bad. Did I build the weapons forge part yet? Yeah, that was on the tower. Oh, no. Let's see if I can pick this up. That's the weapons forge inside this thing, right? That's in there because there's a fire there with an anvil, and that's the inside of it. I think that's like a little workshop with a whetstone there. I don't know what that piece is for. I may have missed something. There's another piece there. I guess that's for people or statues. I don't know. I may have missed something, but I don't know. I'm really like impressed with how easily these are to manhandle. So Poker Face is only on Peacock, which is the NBC streaming service. I don't know that I don't think it airs on like over the air anything. But it is fantastic. It's Ryan Johnson, and it does very much feel a little like Glass Onion or Knives Out, but it's as though they got David Banner or Bruce Banner, the on the run kind of episode to episode where he kind of goes into a thing, helps a person out, becomes a Hulk, settles some stuff for everybody, and then and then walks off, mixed with Columbo solving crimes, right? and Natasha Lyonne's delivery is very Columbo. She's like, I'm just trying to understand something, you know. And when she sees somebody lying, she has this power where she can, she knows exactly when somebody's lying, and she calls bullshit. And what she does is she asks some questions and then gets whatever the lies are and then kind of investigates. So she kind of rolls through, and she's being pursued by somebody whose life she ruined, like a casino owner or something, right at the very first episode. So she's being pursued. She can only stay in town long enough to like help a little bit, and then she has to blow through. It's so good. Like, it's arguably one of the best shows this year. It's very good. Yeah, they will. Whatever. They're just going to milk the Darksaber hilt for the end of time. So, all right, it's noon. Thank you guys for hanging out and chatting with me and keeping me company. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video, I guess, or the stream. I don't know why it didn't show up in my thing. I'll have to go look at that. But maybe I didn't stream to the one that I set up somehow. Doesn't matter. It's all done. So I'll be back, if not at least Thursday, then maybe on Twitch on Tuesday night. It really depends on what we got going on this week. So take care, everybody. Thanks for being here, and have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.